A powerful storm hit Milan and the entire Lombardy region, causing flooding, transport chaos, and significant material damage. The Seviso River overflowed its banks in Bozio Maggiego and Niggard, and provincial roads, especially in the Lake Como and Brianza areas, are completely blocked. Local authorities are urging the population to refrain from traveling and to strictly observe safety measures. Red danger level in Italy. Torrential rains and widespread flooding in Milan. As reported on September 22nd, it has been a real nightmare for residents and drivers in Milan and Lombardy. In the first hours of the morning, 80 millimeters of rain fell in the regional capital, overloading drainage systems and paralyzing public transport. In addition to the extreme weather conditions, the situation was also complicated by a general strike by transport workers, which made traveling even more difficult. In the Comasco, Varese, and Brianza districts, many roads became impassable and authorities issued emergency warnings to the public. The severity of the disaster and the scale of the flooding is enormous. Other settlements have also been affected. In the communes of Meta and Sisano Maderno streets are completely flooded. The mayor appealed to residents, do not leave the house. The streets are completely flooded, many roads are closed. Please be extremely careful. Road traffic was also seriously affected. The Serrano Monza road is flooded in several places. Traffic is practically stopped. Also, the Milano Meta underpass in the Camazin area is completely closed due to flooding. Another critical area was the drainage bowl in Senegal, activated at 7:45 to collect excess water from Seviso. After only 2 hours, the reservoir was completely full, causing the dams on Via Valferva to burst. Despite constant monitoring of the situation, the volume of precipitation exceeded the capacity of the protective infrastructure. The storm also affected the regional capital. In Milan, the ground floor of the Porta Vittoria courthouse was flooded, disrupting the work of the courts. In the neighborhood of Praticentenero, Nigarda, the Seviso River overflowed its banks at around 10:15, flooding the surrounding streets. According to Marco Granelli, Milan's security and civil protection counselor, the intense rain started as early as 5 a.m. Some areas such as Seviso, Cantu, and Paderno Duniano received more than 200 millimeters of rainfall. The Lambro River has also reached dangerous levels, causing flooding in Via Vittorini. Since 6 a.m., the authorities have been trying to protect the area by installing mobile barriers, but the downpours have made this work much more difficult. Local authorities strongly advise, avoid traveling. Do not cross flooded roads. Obey signals and instructions from services. The situation remains under observation and rescue services have been mobilized across Lombardy. Traffic will remain difficult at least until the intensity of the rainfall decreases. The storm also affected the regional capital. In Milan, the ground floor of the Porta Vittoria courthouse was flooded, disrupting the work of the courts. In the neighborhood of Praticentenero, Nigarda, the Seviso River overflowed its banks at around 10:15, flooding the surrounding streets. According to Marco Granelli, Milan's security and civil protection counselor, the intense rain started as early as 5 a.m. Some areas such as Seviso, Cantu, and Paderno Duniano received more than 200 millimeters of rainfall. The Lambro River has also reached dangerous levels, causing flooding on the Via Vittorini. Since 6 a.m., authorities have been trying to protect the area by installing mobile barriers, but heavy rains have made these works much more difficult. Local authorities strongly advise, avoid traveling. Do not cross flooded roads. Obey signals and instructions from services. The situation remains under observation and rescue services have been mobilized across Lombardy. Traffic will remain difficult at least until the intensity of the rainfall decreases. The effects of flooding may persist even after the rains have ended given the record rainfall. In less than 12 hours, the epicenter of the bad weather was the Lombardy region. In just 7 hours in the city of Meta, fell about 100 millimeters of precipitation. Forecasters noted that in some areas the figure reached 200 to 260 millimeters of moisture. Deep rivers were formed on the roads. Pavements were underwater. Cars were not just flooded, they floated down the streets along with broken tree branches and rubbish. The turbulent flow damaged public transport stops, rubbish bins, and fencing structures. In Milan, the rains caused the water level in the Seviso River to rise, it overflowed its banks. This led to the flooding of railway tracks. Transport communication in the city was disrupted. Trains and even river trams were stopped. The authorities urged residents not to leave their homes unnecessarily. They said that communal and rescue services have been put on high alert. Lombardy and Milan. The river Lambro. Overnight, heavy rain fell on Milan. The water level in the Lambro and Seviso rivers rose to dangerous levels. Authorities evacuated the residents of Ponte Lambro and parks are closed. Milan is one of the cities where the water drainage infrastructure remains a weak point. Why is Italy sinking more and more often? The reasons are complex. Climate change, extreme rainfall has become the norm. Overloaded sewage systems, development of floodplains without adequate protection, lack of investment in infrastructure. The question is no longer whether there will be new floods, but how Italy will be able to adapt, and which regions of Italy are most often affected by heavy rain. These are Tuscany, Lombardy, Veneto, Campania, and, increasingly, Piedmont. What is happening in Italy? The summer of 2025 in Italy will be remembered for extreme rainstorms and floods. These events show that the climate is changing and cities are not prepared. When do floods occur in Italy? Floods are caused by a combination of factors, including the city's geographical location in the Venetian lagoon, high tides, strong winds, and storms. Although floods can occur at any time of year, they are most common between October and March, especially in November and December. Which months in Italy have the most rainfall? When is the rainy season? The rainiest season in Italy lasts from late October to January, and spring showers are possible in April. In winter, precipitation falls as snow in the highlands, in the Alps, on the highest peaks of the Apennines, which form the Italian ridge, and on Mount Etna in Sicily. Are there many natural disasters in Italy? Like all countries on the Mediterranean coast, Italy's geological position and geomorphological structure make it prone to natural disasters, such as earthquakes, forest fires, landslides, and floods. Like all countries on the Mediterranean coast, Italy's geological position and geomorphological structure make it prone to natural disasters, such as earthquakes, forest fires, landslides, and floods. According to the Global Disaster Risk Index, Italy ranks 52nd in the world in terms of vulnerability to natural disasters. Overall, 1.3 million people are at risk of landslides and 6.8 million people are at risk of flooding. Of more than 14.5 million buildings, over 565,000, 3.9%, are located in areas of high and very high landslide risk, and 1.5 million, 10.7%, are located in areas with above-average flood risk. Since 2022, landslides and flash floods have claimed the lives of 55 people, injured 86, and left 2,384 homeless. In addition, 17.9% of the Italian coastline is suffering from erosion, and the situation continues to worsen every day. In general, Italian weather can seem unpredictable due to its dependence on the region and sharp transitions between seasons, especially in northern areas. In winter, there can be severe cold spells, especially in the Po Valley and the Alps, and snow even falls in mountainous areas. In March, the weather is also changeable, from cool in northern Italy to warm in the south of the country. Italy is a country with a varied terrain, which leads to significant differences in climate between the northern, central, and southern regions. The influence of the mountains. The northern regions are protected by mountains, but can be subject to extreme temperature fluctuations and cold winds. Transitional seasons. Spring, April, and autumn, September, in particular, can bring both hot weather and cool days, making forecasting difficult. How to cope with unpredictable weather. The ideal solution is to dress in layers so that you can easily adapt to sudden changes in temperature. Throughout the day, flexible planning. The weather in Italy can change quickly, so it is worth being prepared for all conditions, especially during the transitional seasons.